Okay, I'm back with what is officially, I think, part 13 of my coverage, if you will, of my opinions about the Karen Read trial. But this is actually part 2 of the mini series that I'm saying, what if she did it? Hypothetical situation. I do not think she did. But if we were to play devil's advocate and we were to look at all of the different factors, is there a case against her? Let's talk about it. If you need to, please go back and watch part 1 before you watch this one, because I'm kind of jump in middle stream of the investigation. So we're starting right now, this video, with the part where the state police take over and Trooper Proctor is put in charge. Now, there's a lot of people that question him being in charge of the investigation because he and his family have deep ties to the Albert family. But again, I'm playing devil's advocate here. If this is a case against Karen Read, if there is a really honest to goodness belief that this is a vehicular homicide, whether intentional or accidental, and all evidence is pointing in that direction, and there is no reason under the sun at all to suspect anybody that was at the party that night. It just happened to be unfortunate that when John got hit, he got hit in front of this house and he fell into this lawn, and it has nothing to do with anything or anybody inside. If that is the case, then okay, Proctor could still probably do the investigation because this is a murder case against Karen Read. This has nothing to do with anybody else. So let's pretend that that's the case. And because he's trying so hard to make a murder case against Karen Read, we would expect Trooper Proctor to do everything on the up and up as he was collecting statements and collecting evidence, especially the evidence, that he would immediately turn those things over to the proper authorities, to the state labs, to have them tested, blood tested, DNA tested, because he would be thoroughly investigating and working to eliminate anybody that would have been there that night to make sure they are completely above suspicion. He probably would have some sort of phone records, DNA, an entire timeline of every single person that was there that night for the exact purpose of excluding them. And that would be airtight. There wouldn't be anybody that questioned that because he did such a great job of capturing all of those interviews. Everything was official. Because there are family relationships, you would think he would go the extra mile because his integrity is at stake. So he would want to ensure everything he did would be abso-fucking-lutely by the book. And because it's such an airtight case against Karen Read, it wouldn't matter or seem strange that Jennifer McCabe personally called Trooper Proctor 8 times between February 14th and March 29th. So that's 1 time per week during the investigation. But that wouldn't seem strange because Proctor's friends with the family. So why would the calls be deleted? There wouldn't be anything strange about the idea that Julie Albert is best friends with Trooper Proctor's sister. I believe her name's Courtney, maybe? Anyway, it wouldn't seem weird that Julie Albert called Courtney Proctor the morning of February 1st, which is the date of Karen's arraignment. Julie called her 3 times before 9 a.m., and then after the arraignment, they talked for 27 minutes. Now, this is not unusual. It's a widely publicized court case. They're probably like, girl, did you see what she was wearing? Like, they're friends. So we wouldn't think there's anything nefarious about those phone calls. So Julie should be able to get on the stand and talk very openly about her relationship with Courtney Proctor. She doesn't have to pretend she doesn't recall those calls. And she certainly doesn't have to pretend that she didn't speak with Courtney Proctor 67 times by phone between the dates of February 1st and September 6th. On average, she says she very rarely speaks to Courtney Proctor, but during this 7-month period, for 7 straight months, they spoke on average 2.5 times per week. And again, this wouldn't be anything that Julie Albert had to delete. This wouldn't be anything Julie Albert had to deny because they're friends, right? And if none of the Alberts have done anything suspicious, then there's nothing wrong with these phone calls. So why are we deleting phone calls? Why are we trying to keep phone records from getting into the hands of the defense? Because shouldn't everything be pointing toward Karen Read? If everyone really believed that Karen Read hit him with her car, why would Brian Higgins and Brian Albert both have to dispose of their cell phones? Why would Jen McCabe and Brian Albert, again, they're trying to make a murder case against Karen Read. She not only supposedly killed a cop, she killed their friend and co-worker. So why wouldn't Jen McCabe and Brian Albert be willing to hand over their phone records? Why would they get attorneys to fight the subpoenas in court and not turn over? If it were one of my friends that were killed and I thought that person did it, I'd be like, take everything, make a case against that son of a bitch. I would be giving over everything. They're hiring attorneys to keep their evidence against her out of court. And lastly, let's talk about the videos. So we know that there's a number of videos, both neighbors. So there's a neighbor next door. Apparently Karen pulled up far enough in front of his house that she would have been recorded on his Ring camera. His Ring camera did not make it into evidence, nor did the Ring camera from the person across the street who would have seen everything, because they both claimed, well, there's nothing on it. There's nothing there. It doesn't matter. If you think there's been a murder, you hand over everything and let the cops decide what's important. And we heard a lot of video conversation about the library. And we know that there's some video missing from the library. It shows Karen going to the party, but it doesn't show Karen leaving the party. Now, again, if this were an airtight case against Karen and they were really trying to put a cop killer behind bars, there would be step-by-step video. They would have canvassed every single camera in that 7-minute drive, every ATM, every business, every house. She had to have passed, even no matter which route she took. She may have passed 20 other homes. They would have subpoenaed the video from every single angle, even every traffic camera. And you would have seen driving from the home that night through the snow, turn by turn, they would have shown everything. Experts would have come in to look at every single video. They would have blown everything up, shown the damage to the car, and you would have seen her go from this traffic light to this traffic light to this traffic light. Every single second would have been captured if they really honestly believed that she had run him over or hit him and there was significant damage to the back of her car. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts wants to make you believe that Karen Read did this, but all of this extra noise keeps getting in the way. A bunch of people who apparently had nothing to do with anything are deleting calls, deleting texts, videos gone missing. There's police who are changing their stories. There's things that are misdated. There's things that are not documented. They have blown it. Even if she did do it, even if she is dead to rights, she did this, she did it on purpose, she killed him, they can't make a case against her because of all the bumblefuckery that's gone on the sidelines. And John O'Keefe may never get the justice he deserves.